Hi everybody, I'm B. Halligan and it's lovely to see you all. I'm really sorry. I was supposed to be doing something in the temple. I'm in my wheelie cottage here on the grounds in Avalon. I wasn't very well last night. The darling children have given me a bug that, I would say causes gastric distress. That's a really good way of saying that. But everybody in the family is ill and you can see I'm not looking my best today. Anyway. I wanted to reach out and just talk a little bit about, if I may, what we as priests of Cerridwen do in the temple, but also what we do in the community. We are community priestesses, so usually the temple is open. Like I said, not today. There's no way I could make it to the temple today with the gastric distress. But it really is about reaching out and finding or giving a place of sanctuary, a place where we are safe, where we can talk about things that are safe to us. And there's always input from Cerridwen. You know, when people talk about Cerridwen, they often talk about her like she once was, and this story is from the 11th century, and that's all she is. And for us, she is very much a living, breathing, present entity that gifts us with insights, intuition, gifts us with tools to go through the world, right? Which is really important at this moment of time, because there's so much noise at the moment, so much grief at the moment, so much mentalness at the moment, that we really need to go out there and embrace each other and embrace and stand in circle or in a spiral with each other and honor Mother Earth. So I was driving somewhere yesterday, and there was a sign on a tree, not nailed in, I hasten to add, and it says, "Nature loves you." Now this was in the middle of nowhere, past one of these estates, you know, that some rich people have, but the message was very, very clear: nature loves you. And I do believe that post-COVID, a lot of people have lost faith in their own spirituality, lost faith in the earth, lost faith in the millions of years of history that we have, where we are combining ourselves, where we are a part of, not apart from, nature. And so one of the things that I always really love is the work we do as sound priestesses. Now, there are all sorts of different ways of working as a sound priestess, and I'll give you a couple of examples, if I may. So we have this wonderful course made by Priestess Ilan, who is a very knowledgeable person when it comes to Celtic studies, but she's also a singer. She's a folklore singer. So when she came to the course, there was an idea that developed that we could have a wheel of songs. Not the songs that everybody sings, not the songs that everybody does here in Avalon, but actually a song that combines with nature. And she's done a fantastic job, and in September we had the first group of bards of Cerridwen graduate, and they've done such lovely jobs. You know, they've created these songs, these poems. It's a joy to listen to them. And if you want to know what they do a ceilidh, that's like a party or a feast, and they do that on a regular basis, either on our Facebook Live in the Cerridwen group or on YouTube. It also gets loaded up on YouTube. So, but these are songs. These are songs that we're singing together in unison. But for me, what I find really difficult is this: when I start chanting, when I start singing, and people will tell you this, I always get the words wrong. That's not because I'm demented, hopefully, and that's not because I can't remember the words. It's because when the music starts, when I start singing, the sonic euphoria sets in, and it means that I get lifted out of my body. Whilst I'm singing, I get lifted out of my body. My soul surges towards somewhere, and I forget where I am, and I forget what I'm supposed to do. And it's you know, no matter how much you ground and center, now I think it's a really good thing, to be quite honest. There is this surge, this need to lift out of your body and to exaltate. the goddess. So I sing, for example, my lovely neighbor behind me, I sing, for example, chants from all sorts of places, and Starhawk is one of my favorites. And as I get really into it and the drum is going and everything is going, suddenly I'm gone. And the girls have to ground me. They have to sort of like, Bree, come back. So I was talking to somebody who is very dear to me. Her name is Lilavati Rose. She is one of the kirtan singers here in Avalon. I've been going to her kirtans for years. She is she sings with her partners Simon and Draupadi. If anybody knows them, they're very quite famous people here in Glastonbury. And they did kirtan for us at the Goddess Conference the last 2 years. And she did this kirtan with the name of Cerridwen. Now, I'd never heard that before. And of course, this is not our tradition. But then what is our tradition? What really is our tradition? What do we know? We know nothing. We know that there was a tribe of people roaming the countryside in Europe and Britain that the Romans called the Celts. So what do we really know about them? But what we do know is that the people who are left over, the people who are their lineage, the what we now call the Welsh people, they still say that they are singing Welsh. They don't speak Welsh. They canu Cymraeg. For them, and when you've ever heard a proper Welsh speaker speak Welsh, you know, it's one of the most beautiful things you will ever hear. There's something about that language, about that rhythm, and Robert Graves writes about it in The White Goddess quite extensively. So I thought to myself, surely, obviously the kirtan is not our tradition, it's not necessarily our tradition today. It might have been the tradition of the people who came, you know, after the Ice Age. There was only about 2,000 left, but it's not what we do this today, and it's not our consciousness as Western Europeans today, which is very sad, because I do believe that the people in India are miles ahead in reclaiming their health-giving sounds. So what could we do? And there's all sorts of things that have gone through my head. And one of the things that I've just recently realized is that we always have an internal dialogue in our head. We always have an internal dialogue in our head that speaks to us. Yeah, we're constantly in communication with our inner self. And sometimes that's not so pleasant, because we often beat ourselves up for things that, you know, are not really that important in the greater scheme of things. But there's also places where we sing in our heads, or we have an internal radio. I don't know about you guys, but I have an internal radio. And that internal radio sings songs that I've heard. They're just coming to my mind. Now, you have to understand that as far as I'm concerned, when something comes into your mind, that this is a signpost from the unconscious. It's a signpost from your soul that you need to look at something. And one of our anthems in the Cerridwen group is ABBA's Dancing Queen. Now, I know it's a little silly, but when you think about the words of that song and how many lives it has touched, you just put that on in our temple, or where we study, which is the Gables. You just put that on and everybody gets on the dance floor, no matter how unwell we are, how, you know, restricted we are in our movements. Everybody gets up and dances. We do some chair dancing as well. So I would like to do a little experiment with you, and I'm just going to sit here, and in my head I'm going to sing, and I'm absolutely sure that if you're a certain age, you know, you have the words of Dancing Queen in your head already. And if you, for a minute, we're just going to be silent now. And in our heads, we're going to sing Dancing Queen, yeah? It's a bit like a silent disco. So try that for a second. Nice deep breath in and... So you should have been finished by now. And you'd probably noticed that I was doing this, and I can't stop it. I can't stop my body from reacting to the music in my head. And it's actually a really healthy thing to do. It's a really healthy thing to have music in your head. Very often when you talk to people who have depression or they have other mental health issues, they can't hear the music in their song. And I don't know if you've ever really thought about this, but Dancing Queen is really about celebrating a young woman that is confident enough to get on that dance floor and dance. And when we go back to our own youth, you have to think about it. Was that you? Was that you that got on the dance floor and danced like nobody's watching? If it was, then you already a winner in life, because, you know, it took a lot of guts to do that. But again, it's a song with words. In Kirtan devotion, we do sing words, but we repeat the words on the whole all the time. So, you know, I obviously don't want to sing to an Indian deity, as much as I love them. I think they're all great. And I don't know how to sing Kirtan. I just follow the person who's doing it for me. So what would we do? What would we do as Celtic Western people? How would we create our own devotional singing? And devotional singing is really well shown in Gregorian chant and in Hildegard von Bingen. If you have any if you've ever heard her music, Hildegard, and it's everywhere on Facebook at the moment, it's all, you know, that people are singing. And basically it's a cappella singing, and you are basically singing to the devotion of the gods. Their god, our goddess, doesn't really matter who. And, you know, one of the reasons why the Christian church was such a big draw for people is that they were actually allowing people to stand in the church together and sing songs together, be uplifted. The music was the uplifting part of the service, usually. Yeah, that's why you have so many hymns in Christian services. So one of the words that we have in Wales, in Celtic mythology, is Annwn, yeah, or Awen. And Awen is the inspiration, and you sing it A-U-N, A-U-N. And basically it is a gratitude song to Cerridwen for the inspiration that she gives us. And it's a really important word. And very often when I'm stuck, when I can't remember what I was supposed to write, or I can't remember what I was supposed to say, or whatever, you know, certain age, I sing Annwn within me. I sing the praise to the goddess within me. But today I'm going to try and sing it without, which is going to be really hilarious because, you know, my neighbor keeps coming in and out. She always wonders what the heck I'm up to in here. And, you know, if you would like to help, then it is breathing in really nice and deep into your heart. It really is putting your consciousness into your heart. And the word is A-U-N, Annwn, yeah, A-U-N. And we usually sing it 3 times when we do a ceremony. I'm going to sing it 9 times because that's the magical number. If you don't want to sing 9 times, that's okay too. But what I would like you to do is note how you feel after you've sung. If you're having a bad day, if stuff's happening that you have no control over and things are going wrong, singing for Cerridwen's inspiration to find a solution out of a situation, for example. She's very practical. Cerridwen's very practical. So the Annwn is our call to Cerridwen that we need a helping hand, that we need her inspiration to help us out, to settle an argument, to find a way through all of the miasma of craziness that's going on in the world. And as you can see behind me is a lovely, well, half a tree of mistletoe. And mistletoe is my herb. I'm born in December, so my herb is always with me. And herbs react to sound. Herbs pull in the sound. The sacredness increases, and that's why my mistletoe is behind me. So take a nice deep breath in, sit up straight. So thank you very much for singing with me. Now, I don't know if you noticed, I actually changed the tone. Yeah, I went up a little bit because not everybody is like me. Yeah, not comfortable with that, but also the energy is different. So if you're making a difference, you know, if you're trying to create something that is clearing you, it is really good to have different tones, different frequencies, and there's always a vibration. Now, the more you sing the Avalon, each time you have to take a deeper breath. So that's clearing your lungs. Job done. It also clears your throat. If there are things that you're not allowed to say, if there are things that you're not allowed to express, the Avalon allows you to clear your throat. For some of you, there will be a very strange phenomena when you sing in the Avalon. Especially for me, it was when I did the first two, not so much the higher, because the higher is not really my place of consciousness. That's nothing to do with value, the higher tone, the higher frequency. Yeah, very often women are tending to sing very high because that's comfortable for them. But there is something about going low as well. And do try it at home. And what happens is you get this circle. It's like the tone is going woo, 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 woo. You may not have felt it this time, but as you're doing this exercise, as you're singing in devotion to Goddess, and you can sing it to whatever goddess you wish to work with, or God, whatever, I don't mind. But it's that sonic reverberation, that sonic spiral almost. It's like an echolode. It's like woo, or a CT scan if you ever had the misfortune to be in one of those. But it really is a clearing and a cleansing of your lowest chakras. We're not really allowed to say chakras anymore. Biofields, kai, whatever you want to call them, yeah? And it's really integrating the earthbound biofields, and that is not a value judgment, with the inner or higher, or whatever you want to call them, biofields. Yeah, so it's reaching from the earth, the roots of the earth, towards the cosmic energy above you. And this is how you create and continue to work with Goddess, continue to work with the earth, and we need that right now. And there was a little something I wanted to say before I go that is really important to me. We are all in a spirit dance here on this planet. We are all on a spirit dance. Our spirits are dancing together. If you are alive at this moment of time in this world, then you are part of a cosmic ballet. You are a part of a cosmic ballet. And we are all weaving the web of the ancient mother lines. We are all connected through the mother lines. When you think that there were, theoretically, about 2,000 people left on the planet that made out these 8 million people that we have now, then we are all connected. We are all somehow cousins and sisters and brothers. And we are giving the earth strength with our power. We're giving the earth strength whenever we sing, whenever we do any kind of magic, and singing is magic. Don't be fooled by the fact that, you know, your magic lies in your voice, and the fact that you can modulate your voice into different tones, into different vibrations, into different frequencies, without the aid of an instrument is magic. Don't be surprised about that. And we are nurtured and we are inspired, and we give strength to our Mother Earth. And we are connected with the flowing of the blood of all of our mothers. Now, the reason I say that, and people are like, what are you talking about, B? When you think that all water, that we are 70–80% of water, supposedly, and if you think that most of that water in our body is also the blood, then all the waters that have gone through the ancestors that came before us, our ancestors as a people's ancestors, that blood and water is now going through us. So somewhere the memory in the water is of all the people whose blood they flowed through. And that blows my mind whenever I say that. And we are we are threads. Each and every one of us is a thread that is woven into the tapestry of life on this planet. Even if conceivably we are not remembered within 50 years of our going and leaving this planet, because, you know, our families have gone, or people don't remember, don't speak your name anymore, it still is the fact that your blood, your bones and everything else is in this earth, and the earth celebrates and remembers you. And I think it is a really important thing to remember that when we get a bit down about getting to a certain age. And we must learn to be defiant. We must learn to be defiant. We must learn to gather our integrity like a cloak around us. You know, if we do not gather our integrity, if we don't stand up for each other, if we don't get stronger in this world, I mean, this last week, what happened was unbelievable, and then yet very believable. And people say to me, oh, B, don't get political, don't talk about politics. This isn't politics, folks. This is our life. This is our life and the way that we are going to be living in the future. If we don't fight for what we want, what we deserve now, then I'm afraid to say it's going to take a long time to reverse the process of what's happening right now. And I really would like to invite you, especially when you're at work and things are going difficult, things are hard, sit and sing a song in your head. Whatever song comes forward, just ask, Goddess, what song will help me in this situation? And if it's Dancing Queen, that's great, or Thank You for the Music, or whatever, but it doesn't necessarily have to be anything like that. It could be the Beatles. The other day in the Dark Moon Ritual, we sang Lean on Me, and we did it really well. It was hoot. It was a hoot, complete disaster and a hoot. And we were laughing, and the energy was rising, and we were rising. So the next time I talk to you, I want to think about writing a devotional 3-word song for Cerridwen. I want to do my devotional 3-word song for Cerridwen, and I'm going to do this on this particular page because this is the page for the Temple of Cerridwen. We are in the temple usually, unless we are ill, and I just want to maintain the energy of that temple here in our words. So thank you so much for watching. I've got some lovely people here. Hello, Connie. It's lovely to see you, darling. And Connie is a bard of Cerridwen, and she is amazing. Her poetry, her songs are amazing. What a good teacher and a good goddess can bring out in some people is absolutely fantastic. And it's really nice to see you, darling, and I'm hoping that we see each other soon. I'm so sorry I wasn't well last time, or the babies weren't well and then they made me unwell, but it's really lovely to see you. So from Avalon, and I'm sitting right in the center of Avalon, I'm right underneath the cemetery in my beautiful home from Avalon. This is B, and I wish you every good thing. Blessed be.